Welcome back to Nerd Thug Radio. I am the Captain Joey Savage.
Core DLG.
Nico DLG.
We're halfway through today's show. Thanks for sticking around with us this whole time, and it means that we are at our weekly top 3. Boom, 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 boom.
Okay, here we go.
Boom, boom.
Now we're famous locally, so we're just jokingly telling our story, doing what we do vocally. I just like to have fun, be little. This is so fast, I can't keep up with it, Bo. So here we go. It's the weekly top 3. We're doing people we used to look up to, celebrities, people we enjoyed, people we liked, people we expected better from than eyes. So let's have some fun. Nico going first. It's gonna be the worst. That's why we have him do it first.
Boom! Animated assassin. Why are you laughing? Way to go, Corey. That was good, man.
That was fast. I was unprepared for that.
Too sweet. No, we did too sweet.
Too sweet?
Too sweet.
I like to do awkwardly now. I now awkwardly do things to people. Yeah, if they go fist, like I just grab the whole thing, shake it up and down.
Fist to fist.
Whoa.
So this week
That's a Saturday night.
For the weekly top 3, we are listing 3 celebrities. I mean, I guess they could be comic book heroes if you wanted to.
Yeah, if you want to. I didn't.
Just 3 people that you, as a kid, you looked up to. And so, Nico?
Right here. I thought of this one all day.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw that message, so
Which
like
was
3 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours ago.
Right.
All right, Nico, give us your number 3.
All right, here we go. The Iron Giant.
I knew
That is 100% accurate. That is by no stretch false.
I watched that movie at least 20 million times.
Yes. So I will never forget this. It was a cassette. And Dad had bought these cheap VCRs that played movies but didn't rewind movies.
Oh, yeah?
They were like $10 instead of $30. So he bought one for every room in the house, even rooms without TVs.
Nice.
Because he was essentially like, what if one day we get TVs in these rooms? And in my head, it was
VCR.
like, right, exactly. So anyway, there was only one VCR in the house that rewound. And literally, Nico watched The Iron Giant like 1,000,000 times, like back to back to back to back to back. So, okay, parents have kids now, and Netflix makes it really easy. Just replay the episode, whatever. Well, you couldn't do that back then. So, like, it would finish, and then it'd be like, again. And I was like, dude, shut up.
No more.
But, like, he wanted The Iron Giant again and again and again and again.
What's your favorite line from that movie?
Superman, and then he blows up. Saddest thing ever.
Superman. Again.
Right, over and over and over.
And then rewatching that scene like later on, I realized how really sad that is because everyone was just like accepting their demise to a nuclear bomb.
Right. Yeah, no, you're right. That movie's really messed up because the whole town is like, well, we're going to die today.
Right.
And they're totally fine with it.
The wife looks up to the husband and she's like, should we get to a shelter? And he's like, we're not going to make it. It's too soon.
Not going to make it.
Which,
and then they embrace waiting for the sweet release
So
of
depressing.
Right.
Waiting for the shadows to be melted onto the floor.
That's so depressing.
It really is.
Again.
Right. Over and over and over and
No
over
wonder
and
he's
over
got
again.
a crazy sick side to him.
He really, the movie wasn't bad. It's not something.
It wasn't?
It's not something I would want to watch.
As a kid, over and over. Again.
Even as an adult, something I don't want to watch over and over and over and over again.
Man. All right, well,
Need to marathon
take us
that
to
for 2
something a
days
little bit
now.
more.
Yeah, man.
Give us
Iron
something
Giant.
A little more
So,
exciting. Go ahead, what else you got for us?
Just a connection to Vin Diesel, I guess.
Right.
If you wanted to go actor.
Okay. Very
Little
cool.
did you know that he would become like the most important voice actor in your life.
Right.
Like
I am
Iron
Groot.
Giant and Groot. Like, can you think of
Groot.
right? Yeah.
It's all over now.
Do you think he did? Did they ever say? Did he do the voice work for the second one?
I think so. Oh, for the baby?
Yeah.
No.
So he pretty much had like a 1 movie gig
Yeah,
out of
so.
just saying "I am Groot."
Yeah. And
And,
probably
like-
recorded it like 3 times.
No, he
No.
recorded in every single language.
Right. He recorded it in like 30 languages.
Right.
Yo soy Groot.
Right. I mean, I guess it's pretty easy to learn
Ching chong
one sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's true.
79 languages.
And then,
Right.
but then they would be like, "Do it sad, do it loud."
I'm Groot.
Yo soy Groot.
Yo soy Gruto.
All right. Take us, Corey. What's your number 3?
Okay, so I obviously broke the laws of physics, and I did pairs for my 3s.
Wow.
But they were about things that were kind of bunched together, and it makes sense in my head. So anyway, the number 3, I have this very distinct period of time in my life that I recall very vividly, where I was kind of just figuring out that even at a young age you could do
You could walk.
you could do big things, crazy things. Like in my head, I don't know why, but I always thought like if you're a kid, you're a kid. That's what you are. Kids can only do what kids can do. But then I discovered these two artists, and actually specifically, I had my grandma to thank for this. LeAnn Rimes and Charlotte Church. It's like the same time period, and it kind of blew my mind.
Corey's going LeAnn Rimes on us.
Yeah, it just blew my mind because I remember being like 11 and 12, and LeAnn Rimes' Blue comes out,
right,
where she's covering Patsy Cline's famous song, and then Charlotte Church was an opera singer, and she was like 13, and I was like, wait, so these people have like albums, and they're famous, and they're going to be on the radio. And they're as old as I am.
You never seen like Blank Check or Baby's Day Out or
Home
Alone?
They were movies. They didn't
That's true.
feel.
That's
They don't feel real. So like that's when it really dawned on me that like
Not real, man.
right, like all of a sudden it was like, man, like anybody can do anything. Like there's no rules.
I could do
like
anything.
the entire time you're growing up, right? There's rules. Everyone's like, this is what you do. This is what you do. This is how you can do it. This is what it takes to do this. This is what it takes to do that. But really, none of that's true. Like if you're just really talented, you immediately get to go to the front of the line and be famous.
Yeah, it's true.
So like that's really the first time I figured that out was those two artists. That was like a weird period where I was
two combining.
Right. It was just this weird moment where I was like, man, it's really blowing my mind that like you can be famous for all this different stuff too, because like an opera singer or a country music singer or like, and then all of a sudden it was just like anything. Like my mind was like, I can do anything. I can be famous for anything.
Do anything you can do.
And then it was just trying to figure out like, how do I turn into a dragon? Because that's like still what I wanted to do
That's
at 12.
the next step, right?
Right. At 12, I was like, I'll just be the coolest dragon ever. And then I was like, how do I do that? And then I was like, oh, you can't. There's
How do I
no.
become a
That's
dragon?
one of the things you actually can't do.
Right.
But yeah, so just the idea that those people could be famous even at 13,
Right.
it just kind of blew my mind. Like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how, like, everyone else, you guys are just looking at me, but, like, I don't know. It just blew my mind.
No, man.
That, like, wait, so people can just be famous at any time? And then the
They
next.
don't have to be adults.
Right. And so the next person like that to me was LeBron James, because we were graduating high school at that time, and he's a year under us.
Right.
And he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated at 16. So, like, the entire time I'm learning about journalism and writing and that whole world, like, he's integrated into all of it.
Yeah. And
I
he's younger than us.
right, he's a year younger than
We're
us.
only 18.
Right, and you got to think he's probably a billionaire right now.
Yeah.
He's got to be real close if he's not.
Crazy, right?
It just blows my
He's a
mind.
billionaire.
He's got it. No, they would announce. They'll announce it when he makes it.
You don't think he's not worth $1 billion?
No, not yet.
Getting close.
He's getting close. He's probably in
Getting
that
close.
700 to 800 million range.
He did get a fat check from Beats when they sold out.
Right, because he does a lot of like wise investing. He stopped endorsing companies that don't let him invest in them, and now he only endorses things that give him a piece of the pie.
Right. That's smart.
Right. So it's like
Super smart.
there's a pizza
And guess
chain
what?
now.
He didn't go to college to learn that.
Nope. There's a pizza chain now that he
Right,
talks
right,
about,
right.
and it's because he basically bought in at the ground floor.
Yeah, that's all he talks about.
Right.
So my number 3 is he's only my number 3 because it was a very short span.
Okay.
It's basically, you know, I'm going from 5th grade, so we're like what 11, probably the same age as you.
Yeah.
And you're transitioning from being a kid to being a preteen, I guess.
Starting to notice things.
Right, and so Tupac Shakur was my number 3.
Okay. All right.
Like, you know, I mean, I grew up predominantly listening to just country music. So that's all I was allowed to listen to as a kid. And then all of a sudden,
Don't forget the gospel.
right, and right, and so then you know, I someone at school introduced me to this, and then all of a sudden it's like, wow, this guy's super talented, and he's saying things like, man, maybe I should challenge what I've known my whole life, or think for myself.
Right. Like
And,
that's middle school, right? Like you
right.
start to get into middle school, and all of a sudden you start to learn.
I can think for my not that I couldn't think for myself, but like when you're a kid, you're very
You don't realize you're limited.
right.
So you feel how you feel because they've taught you that, and
Right.
so you understand what they've taught you. And we weren't dumb kids, but
No.
you don't think to look past the fence, right?
And then all of a sudden, here's this guy, and it's rap music. And it's so awesome.
That was one of the coolest things about middle school was learning that there were other people who didn't experience what you experienced.
right.
Like I don't remember who it was now, but one of my friends, they were just surprised that not everybody had maids. Like they didn't understand. And I was like, a what?
A maid?
What are you talking about?
I live in
Right.
a trailer.
Right? Like what's going on?
We burn our trash. You mean everyone doesn't burn their trash?
Right. I can't get a pickup truck to come take our trash.
What is these?
You have a maid.
But yeah, man, Tupac, he really, you know, and it's gonna sound corny because I'm this white kid from, you know,
No, man. You know
trailer
what?
park,
Tupac would have appreciated it.
yeah, and so yeah, just kind of like made me realize I could challenge, you know, what someone's telling me. Like,
Right.
I don't have to believe everything.
Right. You have the ability to find out for
And the
yourself
world is bigger than
what we've learned so far.
what I learned so far.
And that, yeah, absolutely. Middle school is when you start to kind of look and start to kind of start to wonder what you don't know.
And like honestly, like reading his writings because then then I just immerse myself in everything.
Right.
Everything, his biography and like his music and his like. I would read his lyrics as opposed to just listening to the music, and he probably influenced me more than my other two, but it was at a very
early age.
I was I was at this point I'm not really a kid anymore,
Right.
and so he has to hold on to the number 3 spot.
That's fair. Nico, you got like a minute. Can you do your 2?
Yeah, it's just Brendan Fraser because I love The Mummy.
Brendan Fraser.
All right, man.
Favorite
That guy
actor.
has fallen on some seriously hard times.
I know, he
Right?
was a Jet Joe.
He was, and that's probably the last thing he's ever been in. No, that's not true. He's been in some other stuff. It's been like really small, dramatic roles though.
Yeah.
Crash. He plays the mayor in Crash.
There's a bunch of people, like, if you think back to the the late 90s, early 2000s, like, there was supposed to be the second coming into, like, the Rat Pack or whatever.
Right.
And they just, we talked about this last week, I think.
But a lot of them handled it better than him, though.
Oh,
Like Brendan Fraser, now they actually do articles about how broke and sad he is now.
Right.
And they never post flattering photos. He's always balding in them. Like, no one ever is just like, hey, Brendan, you want to fix your hair? We're going to take a photo.
Nah.
Like,
Stay
no,
just like
they
that guy.
purposely do, like, the bad look ambush. He's in his
Right.
sweats, so he looks really homeless right
Stay
now.
like that guy.
That's the photo they print and publish of him.
Poor Brendan Fraser.
Poor
How the
Brendan
mighty
Fraser.
have fallen.
How
Right,
the
and-
mighty have fallen.
Seriously, it's a guy who probably saw over 100 million roll through his bank
What's your
account.
favorite Brendan Fraser movie?
Yeah, The Mummies.
Oh, man.
Yeah, man.
Encino Man. I loved that movie as a kid, man.
As a kid, I loved it.
Him
but
and Pauly Shore.
But The Mummy
Woo-wee.
is still good to me.
I was never into the Mummy movies. when I was
Rachel
younger.
Weisz was just so beautiful back then to me. Like her like almond eyes. I really had a thing for that back then. I still do, honestly.
I was never into the Mummy, but Encino Man, it's a whole different ballgame. I just really liked Pauly Shore when I was younger.
You know what I liked about The Mummy, and I know we're getting out of here on this? They were very in love. Like Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz, their characters, even after they have the kid, they're still like heavy making out
Right.
every time they almost die. I don't know. When I was a kid, I was like, that seems really nice. Like that seems like
Yeah.
I want that family. Like I don't know. I liked that in those movies.
Let's jump out to a break. When we get back, we'll wrap up these top threes.
Ow, ow.
Nerd Tech Radio.